age also cry. I am just truly dismayed by the death of Alberto. You know that, more than being my patient, he was also one of my best friends.
Yes, I know. Thank you for coming.
Oh, don't thank me. And look, I know that this is neither the time nor the place to ask this question, but do you know if an autopsy was performed on him?
Why do you ask me that?
No, well, it's simply that I was left wondering if the surgery that Dr. Benitez had performed on him was just as successful as he expected it to be. Good afternoon, Dr. Murillo. Thank you for coming. How are you, Leon?
Why wasn't there an autopsy of your father?
An autopsy? I simply rejected the option with the doctor who wrote the death certificate.
Why didn't you ask me first?
Luis Alberto, because it's obvious that your father forced himself too much. You and I both know that he didn't like to lose. Oh, come on, let's not keep going over and over all this. It would all be very sad, the death of your father, and then an autopsy? No, Luis Alberto, it's best to let him just rest in peace.
Yes, you're right. Thank you. Excuse me.
Go ahead. What's all this about filling Luis Alberto's head with ideas? I thought it was just a simple observation, you know? Luis Alberto's going through a very sad time. Yes, I know. So I beg you to be a little more tactful, Dr. Murillo. All right.
The times, Doc. The times.
Yes, yes. I just don't know what to say. But then, all of a sudden, a famous doctor appears out of nowhere with some miraculous solutions, and that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Of course, right?
Yes, it left a bad taste in my mouth. There's something that doesn't add up.
Very strange.
Elena. I'm with you in grief.
I know, thank you. Condolences. Murillo.
Yes,
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
Sophia, I'm going to say hello to somebody for a moment, all right?
Yes, go ahead.
go ahead.
Is this Dr. Benitez a cardiologist?
Yes, he is very much a heart surgeon. Yes.
You and I have known each other for more than 30 years. Can I ask you to please be honest with me? Do you think there's anything suspicious about Alberto's death?
About his death, I don't think so, but then, with respect to the diagnosis and the operation, I have certain doubts.
Thank you.
Excuse me.
Mariana, we're so sorry.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Luis Alberto, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Listen, we've been here for many hours now. I think it's best that you go home and rest. I'll take care of all of this.
All right, thank you.
Let's go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't mention it. It's all right.
Alberto, my love.
We're all here to be with someone very important to all of us. A man successful as a businessman, but also a good man, generous and kind as a human being. Today, sadly, he is no longer with us here on Earth. Today, he is no longer with us here on Earth, but probably heaven will open the gates to him. Alberto Salvatierra has left his love and his affection. Go, Alberto, go and enjoy with all the others who have gone before. Go. God bless you, dear friend. God bless you, dear brother. Amen.
We must make an appointment with a notary as soon as possible.
You've got some nerve, Elena.
What?
Why don't you wait until the remains of my husband are cold?
Daniela, there are many interests and a lot of people involved, so this must be registered and made clear.
I've spoken with the notary about Alberto's will. Because I know you.
You have spoken with him? Alone? You should know that we should all be present.
Don't worry, you're all going to be present during the reading.
I hope you haven't been as greedy as to take advantage of Alberto's illness to change some clauses.
Don't worry. The position of the greedy in this family has already been taken.
You should not make Daniela your enemy.
I don't care. That hypocrite, she deserves everything that's happening to her.
The reading of the will is going to be in a few days. We must not fight with anybody.
Do you not want me to bring you a chair? You must be so tired from defending her.
Days later.
What time is the notary coming today?
It won't be long. As soon as the family is gathered, I'll ask you to please go to the living room. I don't know how things are going to play out.
Coco, we'll stay with you through all of this. If you need anything, yes, anything at all,
Thank you.
we're all here for you.
The truth is, I have no idea what is going to happen. Everything is very uncertain. The consortium is adrift. And so am I.
Don't you worry, Coco. It's normal. Stay strong.
Hi there, how are you? And welcome.
Thank you.
Counselor, Leon Alfaro, pleased to
It's a
meet
pleasure.
you. Everything is now ready for the reading of the will. This way, please.
Honestly, thank you very much, Leon. For everything you do for us, I don't know what I'd do without your help.
Don't mention it. You know that I do it with lots of love.
No, they better not rob us of what is for us. They're not going to touch it. No.
Don't get ahead of yourself, Mother.
You must be prepared. You have to fight for what is yours, my son. You must become the president of this consortium. And you must get Daniela out of here. You're going to buy her shares. Do you understand?
All we need is that wine to sell.
Oh, come on now. Everybody has a price. And I'm sure that she has one. I never want to see her again.
Well, after reading the corresponding clauses and by the power invested in me by the state, I prepared to read the last will and testament of the late Alberto Salvatierra Ruiz. For his years of faithful service, the personal assistant Socorro Buendia will count with the amount of her present wages as a lifelong monthly income. Also, an equivalent lifelong amount will also be granted to tithe for the charity work Father Guillermo allocates. As for the family, the house in Valle de Bravo is for Mrs. Daniela Montesinos, who also inherits her legal share as my wife, acquiring the legal percentage of shares of the Salvatierra Consortium SA. About the Salvatierra mansion, 50% is left to my son Luis Alberto Salvatierra, and the other remaining 50% to my wife, Mrs. Montesinos. Mrs. Elena Suarez will remain as the administrator of the corresponding shares of the firstborn child of Luis Alberto Salvatierra. Lastly, I recognize under the denomination of my other son, Santiago Hinojosa, as heir of 10% of the shares. His other son died years ago and his name was Matias Salvatierra.
I'm sure you influenced Alberto for him to leave part of the holding to your son. He has nothing to do here. He isn't even a Salvatierra.
Calm down, please. I'm not planning to take anything from anybody.
You always wanted to take everything from me. Stop acting the role of the good boy because it doesn't suit you. And I congratulate you. This is the result of you appearing to be the exemplary son in front of my father.
I don't know why you want to make me out as your enemy. You've hated me from the first minute that my mom and I set foot in your house.
You're not the victim here.
I'm not acting like a victim. A fool who has been trying to please you all his life because I've always wanted to have an older brother, which I know now that I'm never going to have.
Matias is irreplaceable.
I've already had a brother and I never asked for another one. So stop being a hypocrite. You always tried to turn my father against me.
I feel so sorry for you.
Gentlemen, please, calm down. Please, calm down. If not, we won't be able to continue the reading of the will.
That's right, Luis Alberto. Please, guys, leave the reproaches for another time.
Luis Alberto! Oh, Luis Alberto, wait!
This just keeps getting worse, doesn't it?
So it seems. And it was only a few days ago that Mr. Alberto left us. What lies ahead for us?
To look for another job?
I just can't stand being with Santiago.
My love, what's the matter with you? He's not to blame for anything. I don't get what's wrong with you.
I'm going through the worst moment of my life.
Luis Alberto, what's the matter with you? I don't get it. You were starting to get along much better. Why are you suddenly treating him worse than before?
He matters a lot to you, right?
Well, yes. Because Santiago's my friend and I care for him.
Ah.
Besides, remember, he was the first one who treated me well when I arrived at the mansion. My love, I'm an objective kind of woman, and I know that he's a good person. I also know your dad loves him very much. I don't understand.
That's what he always strived for, to gain the love of my father.
What? But that's not true. You know Santiago's not to blame for your father leaving all that to him. Besides, I was there. They had a good relationship. I know that for sure.
And if I had a bad relationship with my father, it was precisely because of Santiago.
My love, that isn't true. When Santiago and his mom arrived at your house, you two didn't get along well from before. Besides, Santiago was 8 years old. What harm could a boy his age do?
I'm tired of everybody seeing Santiago like this meek little lamb, and me like the big bad wolf of this story. Look, I can expect this from anybody, but I can't expect it from my wife.
Ramiro's Car Repair.
Listen, son.
Eh?
Pass me the adjustable wrench.
As if we were family, boss. Hold on.
You and your jokes.
What? Either I grease the transmission or look for the wrench for you. I can't do everything at the same time.
You never find anything. Hey. I don't know what's up with Polo. He hasn't come to work for days. He hasn't even called us on the phone.
Well, you see what your daughter's caused. If she hadn't broken up with him, Bolo would be here with us, working hard, Dad.
You and your brilliant ideas were in this mess because of you, huh? And these days, when it's so hard to find a job, we must take care of the ones we have. I swear that if Paulo wasn't a friend of the family's, I'd have fired him long ago. I'm thinking about it.
My parents gave Alberto their support to create this consortium. They put up the money to create this entire business for him, so I can't understand for the life of me why he did this to us.
It was precisely for that money that he gave you the number of shares that he gave you after you divorced. My husband started up this empire. He paid your parents every cent.
That is the truth.
Anything else?
Keep in mind that to close this act, it's going to be necessary for all the heirs to return to the table and sign this consent.
Right, I'm going to look for Luis Alberto to convince him to sign.
Leon,
Yes?
I want to talk to you. Come here.
But wait, what?
I have this feeling that at any moment everything's going to explode, with all of us included.
How much will they even give us if they pay us off?
Don't say that, Jesus.
What's going
What
on?
the heck do you think you're
Calm
doing?
down.
Whose side are you on anyway?
Just calm down.
You're on Daniela's side. Yes. I've seen how you're always ogling her.
I'm on the side of the consortium, and if you stop being emotional, you should do the same. It's like you're still in love with Mr. Alberto. You're like a resentful woman, as if you were the widow. And do you know what that means? That you don't care that much about me.
Well, no, I don't care that much about you. All I care about is that the son of that social climbing woman doesn't keep what rightfully belongs to my son.
Then let him decide that.
I don't know why he left me so much money. All I want is to see him walking in that door, to work in the office like always. Alberto appreciated and valued you very much, honestly. You have earned it, Coco. You worked for him faithfully for many years. It won't be the same without him.
Mr. Alberto also left a message for you in his will. Do you want me to read it to you?
My sweet and endearing Coco, so attentive and careful with all my affairs. Thank you for being by my side in this difficult corporate journey. Remember me always with the same affection.
That's the best thing he could have left me. I don't want to accept the money. You can't turn it down. It is yours.
Yes.
Excuse me. Luis Alberto, the notary needs you back in the boardroom.
I'm sorry, I'm not coming back.
But Luis Alberto, you must. It's the last will of your father.
He isn't here anymore. What can he do to me? Distance himself further?
Honey, please don't say that.
If Luis Alberto doesn't sign, we could face very serious legal problems that will go against the consortium.
There is nothing worse for the consortium than to have that bootlicker Santiago as a partner.
All right. As you wish. I'll leave it to your decision.
My love, it's your father's last wish. You must do it.
What part do you not understand? It's an injustice on my father's part. He was always against me, and his last will is a way of showing me that, even after he's dead.
My love, why don't you think of Petito? They say that babies feel everything from inside the belly. And I don't want our baby to feel all this anger you feel. Come on, let's go back to the boardroom, all right?
You can go if you want. And tell them I'm not going to sign anything. I'm staying here.
Sign anything.
To refuse to sign could lead us to a testamentary court case. That could take us months, even years.
Well, let it take years. Alberto should have thought it over better before having that stupidity written up.
Luis Alberto's not gonna sign. There's no way to convince him.
Well, then, since you're here now, I'm going to proceed to read what Mr. Alberto left for you.
To me?
Yes, You're also included in his will. Please, have a seat. To Mariana Villarreal, who came to revolutionize my life and that of my family with her nobility, loyalty, and heart of gold. I leave you the factory of sauces, La Niña Bonita, which is in Toluca and that was unfairly taken from her own father. And I also give her sufficient resources for her to get it back on its feet.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Mr. Alberto. Even in heaven, you're still the kindest and fairest person that I've ever known.
No, that's not so bad. For a moment, I thought he was going to make you a shareholder like this idiot.
Well, enough, I'm tired of this. If I'm the problem, I renounce my shares.
Take note of that.
No.
Yes, yes.
No
Be
way.
sure to jot
I'm
that
not
down.
going to allow it.
Take
It was
note
the
of
last
what
will
he
of my
just
husband,
said.
and it's going to be complied with, no matter who doesn't like it.
Now what? You love the money and now you also want the power?
Hey, don't speak to my mom
Don't
like
you
that.
talk where it's none of your business.
Don't
you
you
stupid
mess
son
up,
like
okay?
that.
You're all forgetting the most important part, that Mr. Alberto's no longer here, because he's dead. He's gone. Mr. Alberto was a very fair man. I always knew that, and today he just confirmed it to me. You who knew him so well should also know that. If he wanted to share things this way, well, you should accept it.
I'm going to have to beg you to abstain from giving your opinion and to keep out of everything.
I'm not gonna keep out of it. Because I am, and I feel like part of this family, because I'm Luis Alberto's wife.
You're absolutely right.
Gosh. You know how the saying goes, right? Let the dead bury the dead. When one dies unexpectedly, everyone's like vultures swooping down on you. If Mr. Alberto were watching you, I'm telling you, I'm sure he'd be turning in his grave, seeing you fighting over his filthy money.
Mariana, what's the matter with you? Are you not feeling well?
Oh, no, I have a bit of a headache, that's all.
You need to go home and get some rest.
Yes, Mariana, in your condition, those emotions don't do you any good.
Oh, no, don't worry, I'll get over it just now.
Mariana, if you want, I can take you home, okay?
Oh, it's just that I don't know what to do. I don't want to leave Luis Alberto in these conditions, but the truth is that, yes, I don't feel well.
Do what I say. Go home to rest a little. Look, Felipe can take you home. Okay? Go on.
Well, all right.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's go. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Come on.
Thank you. Right. Thank you.
I get the impression that you don't understand Luis Alberto.
And I get the impression that your impression is wrong. I know my husband better than anyone.
Luis Alberto and I come from a very different zip code from you, dear. Enough that you don't understand how important it is for him to stay in charge.
Leave her alone, miss.
You shut up. Accept my advice, dear. Nobody knows Luis Alberto better than I do. You better think wisely, or you're going to lose him.
I didn't sign the testamentary agreement either.
How is it possible that my father has done this to me, Mother? To place Santiago, who is a nobody. Nobody. On the same level as his only son.
I don't understand it either, sweetheart. Alberto was always unfair and cruel to you. But yes, you're right. Santiago has always wanted everything that's yours.
Always.
The love of your father, and now your position in the consortium. But I am here with you. And as long as I am alive, nobody is going to take from you what rightfully belongs to you.
Oh, you don't feel well, right, ma'am? Do you want me to call your husband?
No, wait, Lizzie. Things are pretty complicated with him, so I don't want him to worry. And please don't call me ma'am. It makes me feel old. I'm still the same Mariana as always.
Well, but now you're every bit of Mrs. Salvatierra. I'm going to call Dr. Murillo.
No, Lizzie, please don't call
You
him.
need to get checked, ma'am.
Wait, Lizzie.
Don't you think you're exaggerating a little? Santiago has been part of the family for years.
That doesn't give him the right to be a shareholder.
Let me remind you, I'm not one of the family either, and your father trusted
Well,
me.
your case is different. You're an important element for Salvatierra. You know about the business. You're a businessman. But Santiago, what? He knows nothing.
Look, I'm not in favor of anyone. But if your mother and you don't sign that document, the consortium is going to find itself in serious
I'm
trouble.
not going to sign anything I don't agree with.
Luis Alberto, sign it, or the holding will be left without a captain. Do you know the amount of losses this will cost us? Besides, would you like to enter a legal labyrinth that will take you years to resolve?
What do you expect me to do? That I give in? Huh? Do you think that this is just a whim?
Oh, I know. No, I'm not going to judge you. I'd have to put myself in your shoes, and I'm sure you have your reasons. But I need to be illogical. And it's better to accept than to be left with nothing. Besides, do you prefer the holding to be left in the hands of lawyers who have no idea about anything?
No. I see your point.
It's business, buddy. Just business. My advice is that you sign that will. Then you will have time to buy back his shares from Santiago and get him out of the way whenever you want.
Calm down, Mariana. Don't worry, everything is fine.
Oh, thank goodness. I already knew that. It's just that Lizzie exaggerates.
No, she did the right thing. Let me remind you that in the next few days you need to see your obstetrician. I need them to carry out some tests on you thoroughly. Your blood pressure is a little high.
Well, just how bad is that?
With what's happening, up to a certain point it's normal. Don't worry about it.
Well, all right, Doc. I promise you I'm gonna behave myself. And thank you very much for coming.
That's right. Very good. Bye now.
I can't concentrate.
We must do something. I mean, we're not just going to sit back and do nothing.
What do you have in mind?
I have no idea, Soraya. That's why I'm here. I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Anything? I feel like I've been betrayed. That's what Alberto did to me. He betrayed me. I don't understand it. What made him do such a stupid thing? I feel like someone stabbed me in the back.
You feel betrayed, Elena. Now you understand how I felt.
What are you referring to?
If you had given me your support when that misfit got a hold of Luis Alberto, it would have been a different story.
Now hold on. I've always supported
That isn't true. You turned your back on me like everybody else did. And now, you're feeling what I felt.
My love, what did you expect me to do? That I turn against my own son? Oh, come on, please.
Oh, come on, Elena. It's too late now.
No. It isn't too late. Because between my shares and yours, we can get Daniela out of here. I don't know. We should think of some kind of strategy between the two of us.
I don't have any cards to play, Elena. Everything would have been very different if I had become Mrs. Salvatierra, and you know that.
The rich also cry.